From the NMSU Department of Journalism and Media Studies in collaboration with KRWG, this is the student-produced News22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Carmina Conde.
And I'm Connor Wayne. The only adult accused in the mass shooting last Friday is in the county jail, and a spokesperson for the district attorney says he was involved in a scuffle.
20-year-old Thomas Rivas has been in the county jail since he was arrested on Sunday. He's one of 4 people charged with the murder in the shooting at Young Park. The other are juveniles. There are 17-year-old Gustavo Dominguez, 17-year-old Nathan Giovanni Rivas, and 50-year-old Josiah Ontiveros. 3 people were killed, 15 injured. All the suspects have histories of violent crime. They're all facing murder charges. Las Cruces continues to mourn the victims of last Friday's shooting at Young Park.
A vigil will be held tomorrow evening. It's sponsored by NM Cafe. CAFE is the Spanish acronym for Communities in Action and Faith. Director of Communications Stevie Paz says vigil will feature speakers including some Las Cruces youth, musical performances, and community resources. People will be given candles for the vigil. It's scheduled for tomorrow at 6 at the Plaza de Las Cruces downtown on Main Street. The shooting happened while an estimated 200 people were at Young Park for an unsanctioned car meet.
Car meets like this one, News22 Abigail Salas recorded in 2023. Residents around Young Park said they're an ongoing problem and a neighborhood disturbance. Police Chief Jeremy Story says the car meets are a continuing problem police must deal with. The Las Cruces city manager says there are plans to install security cameras at Park and that operating hours at Young Park will not change.
Homeland Security officers have an 18-year-old boy in custody after border protection officers caught him trying to bring meth and fentanyl into the United States.
That's right. The stop happened just after midnight yesterday at the Paso del Norte Bridge in El Paso. A drug-sniffing dog alerted the officers, who found 16.25 pounds of methamphetamine and 2.25 pounds of fentanyl hidden in the car. The young man is a U.S. citizen and is facing federal drug charges. Now, it's definitely hot outside, Connor.
I've been boiling myself.
That's right. Tristan, what do you have in weather?
So it has significantly warmed up, but as you can see outside, I think it's cooled down a little bit. You know, maybe you should go out, walk your dog, take a jog, sit on a log. Now let's talk your temps. So skies were pretty clear today. Temps about 81 degrees, which was pretty warm. Winds about 3 miles per hour, not like we had in the past few weeks. Humidity 15%, dew point 25, and a barometer of 29.67. Now, we had a high of 82, an average of 79, and a low of 66. Pretty warm today. But let's talk about those records. You had a high of 86 in 2022, but where is this low of 31 coming from in 2009? Precipitation today was 0, obviously, and for the year is 0.03. Back to the desk.
With job losses, more people are needing help for many necessities, including food. This year, El Caldito Soup Kitchen is celebrating its 40th anniversary. They serve hundreds of hot meals every day. Most of the people helping out at the Caldito are volunteers who help on a daily basis. News22 Marley Lustig reports.
Spaghetti, vegetables, and cake. This is one of many meals that are prepared daily at El Caldito Soup Kitchen. Outside, dozens line up all week to eat a good, hot meal. People from all walks of life come here.
Now, on the average, we're serving around 300 people per day.
There's a lot of prepping for this week's menu. It varies every day. It's all hands on deck. Everything's done by volunteers. Jane's been doing this for more than 20 years. She's seen hunger in person.
I also have built houses in Juarez the past 20 years. And so I realized that we're not all given, a big sack of groceries every week to go home to. So I really feel like it made an impact on my life. And the soup kitchen is a way to answer that call.
She helps plan the menu, assigns cooking duties, and more.
We operate mostly on volunteers and donations. But we are kind of outstripping our current kitchen facility, and it's been around for a while. And so we would really love to work on a new kitchen for El Caldito.
This haven for food began small. El Caldito started in 1984 at a Las Cruces church. Sandwiches were served once a day. It's grown to 7 days a week.
We want to help the clients whom we serve, we want to help them keep their humanity, and make sure that, you know, when we look them in the eyes, get to know them, make sure they're getting all that they need, they feel like they exist. They feel like somebody believes in them.
Volunteers and donations are needed year-round.
So you're going to pour oil.
250,000 people in New Mexico face hunger. In Las Cruces, that means 1 in 7 people are hungry. But the people at El Caldito hope to change that.
As our mission says, we'll keep feeding the hungry until there is no more need. My goal is for us to not exist. I'm working myself out of a job if possible.
Until then, Jane and the dozens of volunteers continue to return weekly, with open doors to feed anyone who's in need. Marley Lustig, News 22.
Stay tuned. Tristan will be back with your national weather forecast.
Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Thursday.
Where news matters. An attempt by New Mexico doctors to change malpractice insurance laws has failed. If passed, the bill would have made 3 major alterations to the state's medical malpractice cases. It would impose a cap on attorneys' fees, disburse funds for medical costs through a pay-as-you-go model, and reinvest certain damages to improve healthcare quality and safety. Doctors say unless the law is changed, New Mexico will continue to suffer a doctor shortage.
I know we've been hot, but let's see how spring is treating the rest of the country.
Yes.
The rest of the country is looking a little warmer than normal, but some spots more or less. Now we got over here in SF, we got about 63. Over here in El Paso, 81. Chicago's looking at 56, and from my shipmates in Norfolk, 60 degrees. Now on to my next map. So we're talking about heat, right? So we got to talk about the heat index. Now, if we're looking over here, this is 90 degrees in Phoenix. Not really surprising. It's gonna get hot. We got some 80s over here in the Great Plains. Vegas is 84, and over here in Florida, we got 80s as well. On to my next map. Now, spring, we got to talk about wind. We got to talk about allergies, and I really just have to point out for my folks in Wichita over here, 43 miles an hour. Whew. Elsewhere, the winds have been kind of averaging out to 20s and 30s. Now, that is all for the National Weather Forecast, but don't leave. I'll be back with your local weather forecast. Welcome back, y'all. Let's talk local temps. So Farmington, we're looking at about 77. Santa Fe, 69. Albuquerque, a warm 81, as well as Las Cruces, a warm 81. Roswell, 72. Clovis, 71. Albuquerque, did we already do Albuquerque? We did. Let's talk about Gallup, which is 71. And Deming is 81. Now, tomorrow, things look like they might be cooling down for some and warming up for others. Las Cruces is going to warm up to 85, as well as, Las Cruces. Clovis, 84, Santa Fe, 70, Farmington, 70, Gallup, 68. Albuquerque's cooling down to 79, Socorro, 84, and Deming, 83. Now, tonight in Alamogordo, we got a low of 51, and tomorrow is going to be a warm 83, partly cloudy. Tonight in Tier C, it's going to be about 49 with some partial clouds, and then tomorrow we're going to have clear skies and 83. Now, Silver City, my favorite city, tonight's going to be cold, rainy, 43. Tomorrow it's going to be about 74, partly cloudy. And here in the city of Cruces, we might get a tiny bit of rain tonight, 49 degrees. Now tomorrow it is going to warm up to about 85. And that's all for our local weather. Back to the desk.
I'm tired with the MLB, but Justin, what do you have for us in sports?
You know, I totally agree. The MLB, too much hype right now. We can take a break from MLB opening day hype and put our attention to the Aggies returning home. You can toss that remote because News 22 Sports is next.
This is KRWG-TV News 22 Sports.
For the win! He got it!
Welcome back. I'm Austin Jaramillo, and let's talk sports. The Aggies return home for a 3-game baseball series against Dallas Baptist, who is currently 17th in the country. The first game takes place tomorrow at Presley Askew Field starting at 6 p.m. The Aggies are coming in with an away win against UNC Greensboro, where they won 9-6. On the other side of the bat, the Patriots are coming off a 7-1 loss to Abilene Christian. Games will be taking place all weekend, so be sure to stop by for a ballpark hot dog and some Cracker Jacks out at the ball game. Also at the plate is local high school baseball. All 4 high school teams play this evening or this weekend. Centennial High beat Roswell in an 8-5 ball game where the Hawks scored 5 runs in the 5th inning to run away with a road win. Mayfield High had a blowout win against Da Vinci where they won 11-6, defending home field. The Las Cruces Bulldogs started their doubleheader at 4:30 against Hobbs. Their second game is currently going on. Now, Organ Mountain also has a doubleheader taking place. Tomorrow evening, they will face off in Clovis against the Wildcats starting at 4. Their second game will take place shortly after. And that's all for sports tonight. Join us for more sports action next week. Still ahead on News 22, Tristan will be back to take a look at your 5-day weather forecast.
Let's take a look at our top stories.
Residents near Young Park, where a recent mass shooting occurred, say car meets were an ongoing problem and a neighborhood disturbance. Homeland Security officers have an 18-year-old boy in custody after Border Protection officers got him trying to bring meth and fentanyl into the U.S. Yeah, Tristan, what can you tell us about this?
Now, let's talk about the 5-day. So for most of the week, we're looking at some clear skies. Friday is going to be a high of 85 and a low of 53. Saturday is going to be windy, though, with a high of 77 and a low of 48. Sunday is going to be a high of 80 and a low of 51. Monday is going to be a high of 80 and a low of 51 as well. And Tuesday is going to be windy, so get ready for that, and a high of 80 and a low of 49.
And that's all for News 22 Thursday. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight.
Tune in next week for more news. Don't go anywhere because Emilia Albornoz is next with Noticias 22 right after this. I'm Carmina Conde.
And I'm Connor Wetton. And from the whole News 22 team, Tristan, Emilia, Austin, Carmina, and myself, good night.
This news brief en español is brought to you by Noticias 22. La información más completa de Nuevo México, El Paso y la frontera. Noticias 22.
Buenas tardes, les saluda Emilia Albornoz hoy en Noticias 22. La comunidad de Las Cruces está invitada a una vigilia que se llevará a cabo en la Plaza de Las Cruces para recordar a las víctimas del tiroteo masivo de Young Park, que sucedió el viernes pasado por la noche. La vigilia organizada por New Mexico Café se llevará a cabo el día de mañana a las 6 de la tarde, en la Plaza de Las Cruces ubicada en la calle principal. De acuerdo con el director de las comunicaciones de New Mexico Café, Stevie Paz, la vigilia contará con oradores, incluyendo algunos jóvenes de Las Cruces, actuaciones musicales y recursos comunitarios. Paz mencionó que la organización está trabajando para garantizar que haya presencia policial para que los asistentes de la velada puedan sentirse seguros mientras expresan su duelo y apoyo. La misa y el entierro para el estudiante Andrew A.G. Madrid de la Preparatoria Centennial se llevará a cabo a la 1 de la tarde en la Catedral Inmaculada de Las Cruces. Noticias 22 seguirá con la cobertura sobre los hechos ocurridos en la semana pasada. Uno de los detenidos, que es acusado del tiroteo de Young Park, ha estado involucrado en una pelea dentro del centro penitenciario de Doña Ana. De acuerdo a las autoridades, el sospechoso de 20 años, Tomás Riva, de 20 años, fue relacionado con conflictos violentos desde su llegada a la cárcel la noche del domingo pasado. Como recordaremos, junto a Rivas, hay otros 3 sospechosos cuyas identidades no han sido reveladas debido a que son menores de edad. Les seguiremos informando actualizaciones del caso. Esto ha sido todo por mi parte la tarde de hoy. No se olviden de seguirnos en nuestras redes sociales y una buena noche. Nos vemos la próxima semana.